I'm going to show you how not to do a push-up, and I'm also going to show you how to correctly perform the push-up or the press-up. However you say it, it's the same exercise. Push, press, same thing, right? So, when it comes to the push-up, it's a very basic body movement that is very difficult to master, actually. People forget this. They see people doing press-ups, or if you've ever jumped down on the floor and tried to do 20 press-ups, you'll notice, if you're doing them properly, how difficult that can be. And even when you've been training many, many years, there's still quite a lot of ways you can change the push-up to make it more challenging. But basically, the reason for this video is to show you how to do a press-up effectively, efficiently, so you don't hurt yourself and you get the most benefit out of it as well. So let's go over a couple of mistakes that people make when trying to do a push-up. First off, especially when you're a beginner, right, and you're not too familiar with exercise, or maybe you've been exercising a bit, but you've never been corrected on form, what will tend to happen is you've got the beginner push-up, which is on all fours, most people, and what happens is they bend the head down and the forehead touches the floor, the head butt the floor, and the arms come down, or the arms fly out the side and the head butt the floor, right? Now, I could probably do this for about 10 minutes. Now, there's no way I could do push-ups for 10 minutes, but that's not really doing anything. All you're doing is looking daft and headbutting the floor. Now, your coach should be telling you, right, that's not the correct way to do push-ups. Your hips should not be back. You should be leaning forward and doing things a little slightly different, right? So, if you are a beginner and you don't have very much upper body strength or core strength, you're going to find push-ups challenging. So, your hips should never be back in a push-up, right? There's no push-up that I know of which requires the hips to be back. The hips should be forward slightly. If not, if you need to be in a box position, that is fine. But one cue that I always give is get the chin in front of the thumb. So if you are looking down here at the floor, right, with a straight spine, if you drew a line from your chin, it would land in front of the thumbs, not behind, yeah? Because the last thing we want to do is have the head behind the hands, because you're not going to get any benefit out of the push-up, you're not going to get challenged, and you're just going to look a bit daft doing it. So, chin forward in front of the thumbs. Now, a very simple beginner push-up is hands nice and flat, chest sinks down between the hands. So, your hips are not back, your hips are either in a box position or slightly forward, chest comes down to the floor, bend your arms and push. Now, even for some people that might be quite challenging, so you don't have to come down all the way until you build up the strength to do so. So why not come down halfway? But what most people do is that it's safe to do this because they know they can get back up, so they'll duck their head back, yeah? And a lot of this will start going on, and I don't know what's happening with this, and what's going on, and all kinds of things are going on with the neck, and then people will start shaking, right? That's not how we do a push-up, right? It's not how we do a push-up. So, very simple. Chin in front of the thumbs. I say this to my guys all the time in the Total Fitness Tribe. I'm like, guys, chin in front of your thumbs. Chin in front of your thumbs. Stop ducking back. No matter what exercise you're doing, which requires you to be on your hands, you shouldn't be ducked back. Unless you're doing a downward dog in yoga, you shouldn't be ducked back, right? Or a child's pose. But that's yoga. That's not what we're talking about here, yeah? We're talking about doing a press-up. So, chin in front of the thumbs at all times. Now, when the chest comes down, that's going to be quite challenging for some people. The elbows should stay back, yes? Not out to the side. Because what that's going to do is it's going to make you unstable on your hands. Because as soon as you pull those elbows out, you're lifting your hands off the floor. So you can't efficiently press back up and have the driving force to push you back up and get the benefit from this, yeah? And also, what it's going to do eventually over time is it's quite a stress on the shoulder joint to open out your hands wide. It's not effective technique, yeah? So your elbows should be slightly back, maybe around a 45-degree angle, if not tucked slightly further in. That in itself is a great cue for you when we're moving forward, yeah? So getting your elbows back, your chest down, and that's a very basic beginner push-up. Now, to progress this, you keep your chest, your hands, and your chin and your head in exactly the same position. All you do is walk your knees back. Yeah, I tend to wrap my feet, that's the cue that I give, because it's a bit more comfortable, so then your knees are on the ground. Now, what you're not doing is shagging the floor. And also, your hips are not back, because then what happens with the head when the hips are back? It's behind the thumbs, so the chin needs to stay in front of the thumbs. Now, even in this position, I've got to keep my core, i.e. my abs and my torso, tight. Because if I don't, I'll just shag the floor, and I'll squeeze my lower back, and it's not good for my lower back, yeah? And I'll feel uncomfortable and not get the benefit. So, tummy tight, And what happens here is, again, the chin is well in front of the thumbs here. If I drew a straight line, it would be in front of the thumbs. Bend the elbows back, sink the chest down, not bend the elbows back and sink the head down, sinking the chest down. Now, some people get here and find that a real struggle to push up, so that's why you don't come any deeper. Yeah, you always want to be able to push back up. Now, when you can get to the floor, great, and push from the floor, excellent. You see the elbows? Elbows are back, not out to the side. Okay, so from there, I can push back up. You want to refrain from bending the knees and setting the hips back, keeping your hips forward. Again, this is technique, push-up technique 101 or whatever you want to call it. Now, to progress this into a full push-up, just simply come to the toes. Now, in this position, this is what we call a high plank on the hands. And simply, again, look at my chin. If I drew a straight line down, it's in front of the thumbs. Exactly the same principle applies. I'm not bending my elbows out to the side, because that's going to make it a little bit more dangerous for me and a bit harder. I'm sinking my chest in between my hands. And then my elbows are back around 45 degrees, and I can press from that position. Now that requires quite a bit of strength. So, if you're starting off, and you can hold yourself in this position, why not try little quarter push-ups, yeah? Just try and get 10 quarter push-ups, or as many as you can. Even just holding in this position, I can feel my core tightening, because if I let go, I'm going to squeeze my lower back, right? This is not going to be good for my back. I'm not getting the benefit of tightening the core and getting the core strength increased. So even just holding there is a challenge. So then I can build it up to getting a half until I can get the strength to come all the way down with the chest touching the floor and firing up there, yeah? So then that is the correct push-up technique, not this, yeah? And don't bend your head, don't headbang, right? Keep your chin straight, don't arch it up either, yeah? Try and keep your spine and your neck in a neutral position. Don't tuck, look straight down, yeah? Straight down where you're going and up, okay? So you'll notice as well, my feet are together, my body's straight, my arse is not up, my chin's in front of my thumbs, and my hips are not down, yeah? So I'm giving a lot your way there. There's a lot to think about. Now with the hand position, think about that next time you're doing push-ups. Hands nice and flat, and naturally your elbow should fall back approximately 45 degrees. Don't let it come out 90 degrees. But if you wanted to make it a bit more challenging, you would tuck the hands in so it's more tricep dominant on the push-up. Now I always think of my push-ups as not working my chest and arms, right? This is a bit of advice I got from a coach a long time ago who said if you want to change around the way you think about your training, stop training body parts and stop training movement and start training movements. Now, if you're a bodybuilder and you want to get on stage in your trunks and flex and stuff, great. But if you're not a bodybuilder and you want to live strong, healthy, fit, confident, and energetic, you want to be training moves, not body parts. Chest and arm days are over. They were over in my 20s. Now it's push-pull day. It's squat day. It's overall body weight day. It's conditioning day. It's high energy day. It's moving to feel good, yeah? So the push-up is a foundational movement, great for strength building, great for getting your core strength up, and just overall general strength. There's a lot working in a push-up, yeah? So just to finalize that, here's your regular push-up, your strong push-up with the elbows around 45 degrees. If you want to tuck these elbows in and bring your hands slightly closer, this will be more of a tricep push-up, which is a little bit harder, a little bit more stress on the backs of the arms, the tris. But again, if you can do that, it just challenges the push-up up in a slightly different way. And that, my friends, is how you do a push-up and how you don't do a push-up.